I know mostly everyone is enthralled by the P. Diddy case right now and the fact that the Menendez brothers were resentenced and may get out of jail on parole. But did you hear of the other trial that we are in the jury selection for? It is in California, and it is a trial with an ex-baseball player on trial for taking out his father-in-law. And in my opinion, I think his wife, yes, the daughter of the victim, may have been involved. So because it's going to be really confusing for me to just tell you, I am going to read it to you, and then we're going to stop, and then we're going to talk about it bit by bit. I'm giving you my opinion as I read through this article. So this article is from dailymail.com.uk, dailymail.co.uk, and the title reads, Exclusive. Ex-Major League Baseball pitcher Dan Serafini was having an affair with Nanny Samantha Scott when he unalived his father-in-law. That's the title. Let's get into the article. So it says, disgraced former MLB pitcher Dan Serafini was having an affair with his family nanny, who is set to testify against him as he faces charging of unaliving of his wealthy father-in-law, Daily Mail can exclusively reveal. The 51-year-old is on trial in Auburn, California, accused of the 2021 unaliving of retired businessman Gary Spohr, he was 70 at the time, and the attempted unaliving of his wife Wendy Wood, then 69 at the time. Samantha Scott, 35, admitted, that's the nanny, admitted to what is coyly described as a flirtatious romantic relationship with Serafini in court papers obtained by Daily Mail, with cops saying she spent the night before the unaliving with him at a seedy casino hotel in Elko, Nevada, where the pair enjoyed a lengthy boozing session. But while Samantha Scott admitted the fling and to driving Serafini to the scene of the slaying in Tahoe City, California, prosecutors say the real reason for the brutal unaliving was a family feud over money that had dragged on for more than a decade. For more than 10 years they were fighting about money? Oh boy, let's get into it and see how deep this goes. Along with flirty texts exchanged by Serafini and Scott, jurors will also see the string of furious emails characterized by Judge Garen Horst in intense verbally violent interactions. During a motions hearing last week, he barraged his in-law with. So he sent his in-laws a ton of emails, and we're going to hear all about it when the trial starts. Serafini played for 6 major league teams, most notably the Minnesota Twins and Chicago Cubs, in a journeyman 12-year career between 1996 and 2007. So I guess he just kept moving from team to team. He really never stayed with one. I guess whoever needed him in that special area, that special field, then that's where he went to play. Continues to read. The trial will see his wife, Erin, 36, come face to face with the former nanny, testifying for the prosecution following a February plea deal. Erin, who's an equestrian, will speak in defense of her husband. So Erin is the daughter of the victim that was unalive and the wife of the person who did the unaliving, and she is going to speak in defense of her husband. Let that sink in. Continuing to read. And while it has previously been reported that Wood had no memory of the attack, Daily Mail can reveal that she had in fact recovered her memory, interesting, A twist revealed during a hearing last week when the prosecution and defense made arguments over whether to put that information to the jury. So she straight up lied, trying to stay out of it. You're in this, girl. You're in this. All right, continuing to read. That led to a dramatically cutting Erin and Serafini out of her will in favor of her other daughter, Adrienne, 39. Did I skip something? Okay, there's some photos here, and I think I'm supposed to read what's under it. It says, former MLB pitcher Danny Serafini, 51, was having an affair with family nanny Samantha Scott, who is now set to testify against him as he faces charging of unaliving of his wealthy father-in-law. Retired businessman Gary Spore, 70, and his wife Wendy Wood, then 69, were pow at their luxury Lake Tahoe home in 2021. He was unalive and she miraculously survived, only to unalive herself 2 years later in 2023. So the son-in-law pow-powed both of them. His father-in-law was unalive, but his wife, his mother-in-law, survived. However, I believe because of the extent of her injuries and having to go through therapy and trying to recover, she couldn't take it anymore, and she unalived herself in 2023. I don't know by what method, but yeah, she's not here anymore either. The wife, the mother-in-law. I believe with what was happening with the family, they said that they have two daughters, Erin and Adrienne. So I believe the parents cut Erin out of the will and left everything to their other daughter, Adrienne. It says Wood. Okay, so they tell how she went out of here. Wood unalived herself in 2023, and her revised will is now a subject of a separate legal battle between her daughters. Whoa. The trial marks a steep fall from grace for Serafini, who is now residing in South Placer County Jail Cell 176. Even before his October 2023 arrest, he had fallen to the point where he was living part-time in a trailer and working as a miner in Nevada's remote Crescent Valley. See what happened when you do bad things? Bad things happen to you. You unalive these people and your life is just in an uproar. You cannot bring it back. You cannot get yourself back on track. Let's continue to read. Most of the money he had earned during his MLB career had been sunk into a bar in Sparks, Nevada, named the Bullpen. Later on, the Oak Tavern, that struggled and saw him appear on a 2015 episode of Paramount's Bar Rescue. When it failed, the former pitcher and his wife found themselves partly reliant on handouts from her wealthy parents, with Wood handing Erin a check for $90,000 shortly before her and her husband were pew-pewed. That might be part of the problem. Mom and Dad were taking care of your bills. I know they try to show you how to be self-sufficient, but parents never want to see their children not without. And I'm thinking in their mind, they're saying, you know what? We have the money. Why not help them? They're in a tight spot. Can't take it with us, so let's just give it to them. But, you know, now Mom and Dad is let you know that they have a ton of money. And that is why I think that the daughter had something to do with this. But let's continue to read. We might get there where I'm going to give you my opinion on how I think she helped. Despite the financial legalese, prosecutors say Serafini's relationship with his in-laws had been fractious from the moment he met Erin in 2010. Girl, you brought this drama into your family. Why didn't you leave this man where you found him? You bring all this trouble to your parents' doorstep? Oh my gosh. So even you met the relationship wasn't good from 2010. And I guess he's gonna say, you know what? I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna marry your daughter. Nonetheless, the pair went on to marry in 2012 and set up home in a sprawling 1.1 million 5-bedroom property in Reno, Nevada, that they share with their 2 children, age 4 and 7. So who paid for that? If you out here just riding horses, how you get that house? And this man put all his money into the business, that in a sinking, failing business. Mommy and daddy. And then you went on to have kids. Somebody needed to have a steady job, a steady income. Why couldn't he do something to bring in the income? Why didn't you ask your father-in-law to show you how he made his money? And maybe he could have helped you take care of his daughter. Pride. That's why. Okay, continuing to read. According to the prosecution documents, Serafini was heard offering to pony up $20,000 to have his in-laws unalived the same year he and Erin married, in 2012. And then again in 2016, he was heard describing them as wealthy pieces of poop. You know the other word for poop. And just 3 months before the unaliving in June of 2021, he was overheard by one of the mine foremen, Eric Bunner, saying he wanted to take them out following a furious phone call. So this man has been trying to get rid of his in-laws since 2012, and he finally did it himself in 2021. Why was he so fixated on taking them out of here? What is going to come out in court if they put him on the stand? Oh my gosh. All right. That bad blood, says the prosecution, came to a head when a masked man was caught on camera sneaking into the Spurs Tahoe City home on June 5th, 2021 at shortly after 5 p.m. Erin was seen visiting her parents that day with their children and was seen saying goodbye to them at 7:45 p.m. that night. It was the last time her father would be seen alive. So now you see why I say that I believe that she had something to do with it. Unassumingly maybe, but I think with her talking with her husband, because you know you're going to vent to your husband anything that's going on with you. He's going to internalize it and see if he could fix it. And this was his solution. You don't have no other solution but to take your parents out. So it says the camera saw him entering the house at 5. Erin was seen leaving with the kids at 7:45. So 2.5 hours later. So that means he got in there and he hid. And then after Erin left, he worked up the nerve to do what he had to do. Let's continue to read to see exactly at what time he did what he did. Just over an hour later, 5 pow-pows were heard in rapid succession from inside the property, with the masked killer caught leaving the home a few minutes before 9. So yeah, 7:45, almost 8 o'clock. So between 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock. That's when he did what he did. When the grandparents were settling in. That's when he did what he did. Erin, I think, came over with the kids to distract the grandparents, keep them secluded in one area. And then Serafini entered the home, hid. And after Erin left with the kids, he worked up the nerve and did what he had to do. So that's why I think she's part of it. And I think that's why she needs to also be held accountable. That's my opinion. You let me in the comment. Tell me in the comments what you think. Do you think she had something to do with it? Well, let's continue to read and see. When police arrived an hour later, they found Spoor about to on the couch from a pow-pow wound to the head, while his wife was found in an upstairs bathroom, shot twice in the head, but miraculously still alive. So yeah, she was preparing for bed. You know, you're winding down. You got to take your makeup off, take a shower, get yourself ready for bed. While police and the prosecution say the man captured on camera was Serafini, who had been driven to Tahoe City by his lover Nanny Samantha Scott. In initial interviews, Scott claimed to have been in Elko City on the day of the unaliving and said Serafini had spent the previous night with her there at the Red Lion Casino before leaving to return to his Crescent Valley trailer. But Scott's tale changed when police confronted her with cell phone pings that placed her first in Crescent Valley, then Reno, and next crossing into California, where her phone pinged near Truckee, a border town close to Tahoe City. In Tahoe City, her tan Subaru was captured on home surveillance footage parking close to the spot where the residence of the Spurs at 6:42 that night. The car was repeatedly seen moving from parking spot to parking spot before driving off at 9:22 that night, allegedly with Serafini also inside. So she dropped him off to go do the do, waited for him to do the do, and then took him out of there after it was done. So that means he walked if he left the house shortly before 9 o'clock, that means he walked a few miles to go meet her where she was. And I guess that's why she figured to say, my name is Bennett and I ain't in it, because she wasn't near the home. The cameras didn't catch her near the home. But no, girl, you forgot to turn off your location. And you know that the cell phone nowadays it's a tracking device. It will track you to wherever you're going and whatever you're doing. So yeah, she drove off with him at about 9:22 that night. According to court papers, Scott admitted to driving the former big leaguer to Tahoe City that day, but insisted she had left him there by the Fat Cat Bar and Grill after he said he needed to, quote unquote, pick up a package before collecting him a few hours later for the drive back to Crescent Valley. You go to pick up a package and it takes you 4 hours to grab a package and go? Okay. That was the best lie you could come up with, girl? Nah, that's not gonna fly. You are an accessory to the act. Okay. Police say it was during that time Serafini snuck into the house and attacked his in-laws, emerging from a hiding spot after his wife and children left. Despite Scott turning witness for the prosecution, Serafini's defense lawyers David Dratman and David Fisher will argue that there were plenty of other people with reason to want to unalive Spoor and his wife who had been nightmare neighbors and the subject of restraining orders at the time of the attack. They always say that if you want to get your client off, find somebody else to put it on. So they try to put it on the neighbors who didn't like them. Court papers seen by Daily Mail will bear that out, saying that it's true that the neighbors had restraining orders on them. Wood was convicted of attacking a man with a paddle for fishing outside her home in 2018, while Spoor had been involved in a laundry list of court cases dating back to 2011. So this man was constantly in court. I wonder if that's how he's made his business, just by suing people back to back to back to back to back. People make a living off of that, you know. Dratman and Fisher, who are the attorneys, also say that the Spoors of the daughter Adrienne, who the mom changed the will and left everything to, benefited financially from her parents' unaliving. She is currently dating a convicted bank robber named in court papers as TH. Oh my God. This whole family is a mess. Everybody got a problem. Wow. Let's continue to read. Daily Mail can reveal TH is Taylor Hatton, 39, who was convicted of robbing the First Community Bank in Taos, New Mexico in 2008 and brandishing a firearm during the heist. He was eventually arrested in Albuquerque, convicted, and released from jail in 2014, according to the Bureau of Prisons record. They say the man caught on camera could have been Hatton, although Richard Miller, who is leading the prosecution, noted in court last week that Hatton is just 5'9", while the masked man is closer to Serafini's 6 feet 1 inch. Come on now, that's what, an inch difference? An inch and a half, 2 inches? Come on. It could possibly be the other guy. Wow. The trial is due to run for at least 2 weeks, and we'll see Serafini face life in prison if he is convicted. Samantha Scott will be sentenced at a later date. Wow. That is the end of the article, guys. Tell me, what do you think? Do you think it was Serafini who did the act? I think the fact that the girlfriend's phone was so close to the home, I think that's what placed him there. He tried to put it on the other daughter's boyfriend. Lord have mercy. And the wife is sticking by. She's like, that's my husband and I'm gonna stick by him. Wow. This is a case to be followed, and I'll definitely come to you with the update. Like I said, right now they're in jury selection, so the trial should be starting next week, and I will give you updates as they come. I might do another video regarding it. For some reason, this case is really interesting to me. Like I said, I might give you update in the form of another video, or do like updates in the comment section or in the description, but more than likely I'll do another video just for the content part of it. So even though everyone right now is focusing, almost the whole world is camped out in front of the federal courthouse in Manhattan, watching what's going on with the P. Diddy trial and getting our updates daily, there are a lot of other cases that are happening around, and this is one of them. So if you're interested in stories like this, make sure that you go ahead and subscribe to the channel, like this video, subscribe, leave a comment if you wish. Make sure you take care of yourself and your family, girl, because what's going on out here, you gotta stay safe. You gotta keep safe. Until next time, take care. Bye-bye. Tired of the same old styles? Ready to make waves with your wardrobe? Welcome to Touch Me Textures, where bold meets beautiful and every piece is designed to turn heads. Our collections are all about textures that feel as good as they look. From flowy dresses to eye-catching accessories, we've got everything you need to express your style your way. Find pieces that speak to you for every vibe, every adventure. And the best part? Our site makes it easy to shop and easy to fall in love with everything. So why wait? Dive into style that's uniquely yours at touchmetextures.com. Feel fabulous, look unforgettable. Click the link in the description to check out all we have to offer.